Welcome to another problem video. So here is a digit problem. So it's saying find the total number of 6-digit numbers x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x6 having the property this x1 less than x2 less than equal to x3 less than x4 less than x5 less than equal to x6. So in this video, my motive is not just to actually solve this problem, but also to do something else. How to make observations from a problem, how to find out new things. So let's first, anyway, solve this problem. So we'll consider a 6-digit number like this. Now, essentially, since there are less than and less than equal to, there are two things, either less than or less than equal to. So better maybe divided into cases so that it becomes easier for us. So let's do that itself. So the first case which we take is maybe that all are distinct. That is, we have only less than. So x1 less than x2 less than x3 less than x4 less than x5 less than x6. So that's the first thing. Now, if we are given this condition, it obviously means that 0 cannot be a digit of such a number because 0 is the smallest digit and it has to be at the first. And we know that no number has a 0 in the first place. So we have rest 9 digits. And out of these 9 digits, I have to choose 6 of them, 6 distinct, because I've assumed that only less than equal to. I have to choose 6 of them. Choose, remember, just choose. So I am not arranging them. Why am I not arranging them? Because there's only one way to arrange them in ascending order. I want them in ascending order. I just choose 6 of them and I arrange them in an ascending order. That means I have only one way of doing that. So just multiplied by 1, no other permutations. So this is just 9 choose 6. Let us go to the case 2. So maybe since I assumed less than here, just x2 less than x3, now I'll consider the equal to sign. So maybe like this x1 less than x2 equal to x3 less than x4 less than x5 less than x6. Now let us say this is equal to some a. So we have 5 numbers x1, a, x4, x5, x6. Again, nothing can be 0 by the same argument which I gave in case 1. So yeah, so now we need to choose 5 numbers from the other 9 digits, which can be done in 9 choose 5 ways. Yeah. And the next will so we need to choose 5 numbers out of the 9, which can be done in 9 choose 5 ways. So this is the second case. Now moving on to the third case. Now I assumed an equal to sign here. There's another equal to sign here. So we'll assume that this is less than and this time this is equal to. So the condition becomes x1 less than x2 less than x3 less than x4 less than x5, this time equal to x6. And we choose this to be b, some b. So again, we need to choose 5 numbers from the available 9 digits. No zeros. So 9 choose 5 ways again. So case 4 is now both of these are equal to. So x1 less than x2 equal to x3 is less than x4 less than x5 equal to x6. Now again, if I choose this to be a and this to be b, now I have, 4 digits, x1, a, x4 and b is less than. So I need to choose 4 from 9. And again, there's only one way to permute them in ascending order. So 9 choose 4. That makes it 9 choose 4. So the total would be, these are the only possible cases. So the total would be this. The first case, that is 9 choose 6. The second, we found it out to be 9 choose 5. The third case, we found it out to be 9 choose 5 again. And case 4, we found it to be 9 choose 4. So the total came out to be 9 choose 6 plus twice of 9 choose 5 plus 9 choose 4. Now this came out to be 462. You could calculate this. It's not very hard. So the answer came out to be 462. But I looked at the answer key given when I was solving this problem. The answer key given was 11 choose 6. So I started wondering, have I done something wrong? Why is it 11 choose 6? Then I realized I calculated 11 choose 6. And interestingly, 11 choose 6 also came up to be 462. That's interesting. So there might be another way of looking at this problem, 11 choose 6. But I found out an interesting result. Why? Because 11 choose 6 came out to be 462. And if you look at the previous our result, it's 9 choose 6, 9 choose 6 plus twice of 9 choose 5 plus 9 choose 4. So if I consider this 9 to be n and 6 to be r, so 11 becomes n plus 2, 2 6 is r, 9 and 6 n choose r plus twice of n choose r minus 1 because 5 is 6 minus 1 plus n choose r minus 2. So I asked myself this question, is this a correct result? Is this a correct result? Now, of course, you could attempt proving this by using the familiar formula for n choose r, that is n factorial by r factorial times n minus r factorial, and use the properties of factorial. So that's the standard algebraic way. Use the properties of factorial. But the thing is, it's going to become very much complex algebra. I myself tried this, so I'm telling. I tried to use this formula and properties of factorial, but it became relatively very lengthy. So in such a case, we need to look for something known as combinatorial arguments. What exactly is a combinatorial argument? So we prove a certain formula involving combinations or permutations using a certain selection of objects or distribution of objects. So that's the rough idea of what exactly is a combinatorial argument. So how do we go about giving a combinatorial argument for this? So let's try this out. Yeah. So now comes the actual thing. You yourself could think of a combinatorial argument by yourself and maybe pause the video for a bit and then you can see the solution. So how do we proceed? So I consider a set of n plus 2 people and I need to select r people from them. So how many ways can I do this? Select r people. So it's just n plus 2 choose r, every one of us know. Now let us concentrate our attention on two specific people in this set of people. So let us concentrate on A and B. These are our two specific people. So now we will divide this problem into cases with respect to these two people, A and B. This comes by practice. Combinatorial arguments are essentially very helpful in even everyday life as we are dealing with this example. So A and B. So obviously there can be many cases. Let us write down the cases first. So first case is, of course, we can select both A and B. I'll leave some space. The case 2, we can select one of A or B, right? And the third case is we do not select either A or B. You can see there are exactly only these three cases. You cannot find any other case. Yeah. So let us try to build this. Both A and B are selected. So two people are selected. So I need to actually choose how many more people. I need to choose R minus 2 more people. from how many? N plus 2 people were there. Now those two are gone, set aside. So n plus 2 minus 2, that is n. So n choose r minus 2 is the case one. One of A or B. So essentially we select either A or B. So we have two options for that. And we need, one is selected, so we need to select still r minus 1 people from how many? We know that A and B are, we have already decided about them. So still there are n people remaining. So n choose r minus 1 ways. Now we come to case 3, where we do not select any of A or B. So that is this case. So that means we have already decided that A and B are not selected. So still we have n people. Now we haven't selected anyone till now. So we still need to select our people. So how many ways can we do that? N choose R. As I've explained here, you can go by the same argument, N choose R. So of course the total is going to be what? Total is going to be case 1 plus case 2 plus case 3. This case 1 was n choose r minus 2. The case 1 was n choose r minus 2. Case 2 was 2 times n choose r minus 1. And case 3 was n choose r. But by our first argument, we also saw that the total is n plus 2 choose r because we are selecting r people from n plus 2 people. So the total has to be equal to total. So we have n plus 2 choose r equals n choose r minus 2 plus twice of n choose r minus 1 plus n choose r. And thus our observation is now proved. So what I wanted to share in this video is mainly to how to make observations from a particular problem and come up with new results, which is, I feel, going to be very helpful in research. We have to not always just solve a problem. If there is a scope of learning from a problem, we can find out new things, as I've shown here. Just making some very nice observations will certainly help us to solve more difficult problems as well. So I hope you enjoyed the problem and the observation I took from the problem. And yeah, thank you for your patient hearing, and bye.